Trump warns of false flag following memo release. President Trump has warned of a potential false flag attack in the United States in the wake of the release of the FISA memo. The release of the memo has already rocked the Democratic Party and deep state to their very core, and they will do everything in their power to fight back. According to political commentator Monica Crowley, the memo is just the first of several memos to be released which are set to antagonize the establishment. This is the first of several memos. As bad as this memo might be, my understanding is that there is worse coming down the pike, she told Fox News. ANP reports, with Twitterites getting #MemoDay trending on Twitter along with #Great Awakening, we got a great hint of where this memo is leading from President Trump, who tweeted this morning, slamming the top leadership and investigators of the FBI and the Justice Department, warning Americans that they have politicized the sacred investigative process in favor of Democrats and against Republicans. Also claiming that what he was witnessing was something which would have been unthinkable just a short time ago, he also reminded us that most FBI agents are great people. Yet we all remember, a fish rots from the head down. And with Nancy Pelosi recently saying that the memo is just a cover-up to protect President Bush, that being at least the 6th time she's called President Trump President Bush, it's easy to see that the head is already rotten. And now from the Washington Examiner we get the first peek at the contents of the memo, which confirms much of what independent media has been saying all along: our justice system was weaponized against President Trump in the deep state's bid to get Hillary Clinton elected. The full memo is embedded at the bottom of this ANP story. From the Washington Examiner story. The House Intelligence Committee has released its controversial memo outlining alleged abuses of secret surveillance by the FBI and Justice Department in the Trump-Russia investigation. Here are some key points. The Steele dossier formed an essential part of the initial and all 3 renewal FISA applications against Carter Page. Andrew McCabe confirmed that no FISA warrant would have been sought from the FISA court without the Steele dossier information. The political origins of the Steele dossier were known to senior DOJ and FBI officials, but excluded from the FISA applications. DOJ official Bruce Orr met with Steele beginning in the summer of 2016 and relayed to DOJ information about Steele's bias. Steele told Orr that he, Steele, was desperate that Donald Trump not get elected president and was passionate about him not becoming president. The FBI and Justice Department mounted a months-long effort to keep the information outlined in the memo out of the House Intelligence Committee's hands. Only the threat of contempt charges and other forms of pressure forced the FBI and Justice to give up the material. In some amazing overlooked comments that President Trump made the day before the State of the Union, we also get a look at what might be the inner workings of false flag events as reported in this January 30 PBS NewsHour story. Let's look at President Trump's comments in light of 9/11, Pearl Harbor and numerous other huge events that have briefly unified America. Is President Trump hinting at a huge war or event ahead? He makes clear he wants to avoid it. Hours before his first State of the Union, President Donald Trump said Tuesday that he wants to unite the country amid tremendous divisiveness and hopes he can do so without a traumatic event affecting Americans. Trump spoke about creating a more united country during a lunch with a number of television news anchors. Trump said the United States has long been divided, including during the impeachment of former President Bill Clinton. Trump also said that Americans usually come together during times of suffering. I would love to be able to bring back our country into a great form of unity, Trump said. Without a major event where people pull together, that's hard to do. But I would like to do it without that major event because usually that major event is not a good thing. The president also said the country's divisions date back to both Republican and Democratic administrations, citing the scandals that led to Clinton's impeachment by the House in 1998. I want to see our country united. I want to bring our country back from a tremendous divisiveness, which has taken place not just over 1 year, over many years, including the Bush years, not just Obama, he said. According to this news story from Mike Adams over at Natural News, when the FISA memo is released, watch for massive, coordinated censorship and glitches across Google, Facebook, Twitter and YouTube. As we reported on Thursday on ANP after Wednesday's train crash of Republican leaders heading to a retreat in West Virginia, in this potentially dangerous time period, all eyes and ears should be open and Americans ready for anything. With President Trump's approval rating across the U.S. popping up to 49% according to this new Rasmussen poll following the best State of the Union speech we'd ever heard in our lives, we get an absolutely fabulous analogy of the train crash recently shared with ANP by Steve Quayle from Pastor David Lankford. The truck represents obstruction by sitting on the tracks to stop the Trump train. The strewn trash is the hidden secrets and dark treasures that will be revealed. The train represents the Republican Party leaving Washington to give the government back to its people. The time has come to expose the trash, and the time has come to dispose of it publicly. Thus time disposal. That was the name of the garbage truck company that the Amtrak train struck. We also get another hint of danger ahead from globalist warmonger Henry Kissinger, who recently testified before a Senate Armed Services Committee that the temptation to carry out a preemptive attack upon North Korea is strong, with the Hermit Kingdom nearing or already in the position of being able to deal a lethal blow to America with their nuclear program. As residents of Hawaii found out just weeks ago, should a nuclear attack be launched, one has very little time to prepare, and as Prepper Scab reports in this January 31st story titled "The Hardest Part is Not Fleeing but Thinking, Planning, and Acting the Golden Hour, What to Do in the First 60 Minutes of SHTF, we should all be ready for a potential game changer from the globalists if indeed what we've been hearing about corruption at the highest levels ready to come crashing down is true. As Gerald Salent has long warned, when all else fails, they bring us to war. What else might they do? As the conservative Treehouse reported this morning, with the release of the memo being just the tip of the iceberg and just the beginning of this look into corruption at the highest levels, certainly not the end, the fact that Barack Obama quite literally weaponized the DOJ and FBI against Republicans mimics what we saw come out of his administration and their demonizing of Christians, conservative, patriots and preppers among others. Putting millions of Americans on watch lists and completely abusing the system in what many believe to be their goals of bringing America into a totalitarian, Islamic global state as we've witnessed in Europe. From the IRS scandal to Bundy Ranch to Barack Obama switching sides in the war on terror and arming those who want to slaughter Christians, we've seen what happens when government agencies tend towards tyranny, and while it appears that with President Trump in office, we'll get a respite from that for at least now, with the deep state seemingly hell-bent upon revenge and stopping the release of horribly damaging information, we urge all be prepared for whatever is coming. As we hear in the second video below from Lionel Nation, the #Trump #Great Awakening is here, and with future memo releases promising to bring us even more truth and the deep state more headaches, as we hear in the final video below from InfoWars titled "Globalists Plan Massive False Flag Attacks to Stop Rebirth of America." Between the upcoming Super Bowl and the Olympic Games in South Korea, the globalists may pull out all stops in the days and weeks ahead to complete their long work towards agenda. If you love your news from one sexy ass robot, then like and sub and hit up my big fat bell.